Hello, good morning, World Wide Web. I'm GW Pomichter, and we are hanging with artists and game developers and writers and creators of all kinds at the 34th Annual Necronomicon in Tampa, Florida. We're going to give a quick shout out to our partners and friends over at Something Unique Magazine for helping us to share these videos and share these great artists with you all weekend long. We are at Necronomicon 2015 at the Grand Hyatt Regency in Tampa, Florida, and we are hanging with author T. Alan Diaz, the author of the Procythian Rain. And how you doing this weekend, man? How's it going?
It's good. It's good. I'm having a good time. Meeting a lot of people. Moving a little bit of merchandise.
We got some authors out here. We got some here in the vendor room. You get to move some merchandise. Talk to some readers and fans.
Yes.
How are you enjoying the con?
I like it. I really like the conventions. You get to get out and meet people and talk to people. And fortunately, I'm selling some additional books, and I've had return readers come to me. It's been real exciting.
That's great. That's great. Now, Procythian Rain is the book that you're talking about right now.
Yes.
But you've got other books out.
Yes, the Proceena Crusade, which is a sequel to Procythian Rain.
Okay.
And I have a detective noir book called Lunatic City, which takes place on a colonized moon. It's a detective
Oh, that's
noir.
awesome. You know, it is interesting to see. When I first started writing, my brother came to me with an idea, and it was a detective noir idea, and that's what I wrote first, and it's a period piece. And it really is sort of an homage to classic noir, because it's amazing how the genre has developed and become a new fantasy genre and blended in with so much futuristic things as well as modern noir, which are mostly graphic novels and things like that, which are it's a really neat adaptation of the genre. So
it has a lot of potential as a story.
It does, and those staples that have been with it since Chandler back in the day they just give you there's a rock to build on and go.
Yes.
And you can build anything you want to, and it's amazing. It really is. So what? How long have you been coming to the cons and things like that?
This is my second Necronomicon.
Okay.
I've been to last year. I went to Comic-Con here locally in Tampa.
Yeah.
I also went to SuperCon this year in Miami. So I've been going for about working on 3 years.
What do you think? How do you like it?
I like it. I like it. It's really.
What's the coolest thing you've seen at a con?
I
mean, there's so much here.
Some of the cons that you go to, the costumes and some
amazing.
of the characters that you see are just. There are a lot of
How long have you been writing and publishing?
Well, I've been writing for a long time. I've been self-published for about 3 or 4 years now. I'd have to actually look, depending on how the months fall. But I really have enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun.
What inspires you to write, first of all?
Well,
To
create, I've always had kind of a vivid imagination, and I always kind of had an interest in the idea of writing. I wrote a few stories in high school. I was always interested in history, so I would try and pen some history and some horror because I was a big Stephen King fan.
Okay.
I just couldn't. None of that stuff worked out for me. And then I had a friend who got into writing a little bit, kind of inspired me.
Okay.
And from then on, I just kept working at it, and I finally found in science fiction something I thought I had a little niche in, and I was able to do that.
You're self-published.
Yes, sir.
You're an indie author.
Yes, sir.
That is it's an amazing shift in the modern paradigm of publishing. It really is. And so what made you decide to take that route and finally just kind of push the publish button and go?
Well, I had a few query letters that got turned down by publishers, and I really was frustrated by the way it works. You got to give them your material, and then they can take as long as they want to get back with you, but then you're not allowed to talk to anybody else in the meantime.
Yeah.
And it was a really frustrating experience, so I kind of put that idea down, and then my wife we saw that some of the specials about Amazon in particular, but all the indie opportunities that you have out there. And my wife kind of said, you know what, you should really take that up and run with it. And she's been very supportive. And
that's
my
fantastic.
Wife is
it is. And it's going well for you.
It is going well. I've gone to where it was sucking a lot of money out of me just to kind of be here.
Yeah.
Now I'm making my money back, and I'm continuing to build a reader base. So my hope is if I continue to write and I continue to put out product, I continue to come here, I'm very close to being in the black, which for an author is a big thing.
It is a big thing.
And it's not easy.
No, it's not. But we talk to so many, and particularly at the cons, it's amazing to talk to so many independent artists of all kinds and see the way that artists are communicating directly with consumers, directly with fans, directly with readers, and people who appreciate the work in a new paradigm. It's not being put to them out by corporate America. It's being brought to you by the artist himself.
Right.
And what would your advice be to those young independent authors and artists out there who they're trying to on the fence? Should I push the button? Should I not push the button? Should I, what route should they take? And what would you tell somebody who was getting started like you were just a few years ago?
Well, the route that I would say, the first thing is if you care enough to where you've written, I would always encourage you to learn as much as you can about the craft so that you put out a good product, because you have to stand out in a crowd. The great thing is anybody can be in it.
That's right.
But the bad thing is anybody can be in it. So, you're now competing with a ton of people. And so I would say try to learn as much as you can about the craft. Try to put out a good story, and then you can't win if you're not in the game. Amen. So you got to go in and you got to take your shot.
Amen. So you've been coming to cons for a couple of different years. We talked about the costumes and how cool they are. What do you got into the table right now? What do you got? Do you have Procythian Reign out there. You got any of the other books in there?
I've got the Proceena Crusade, which is a sequel to the Procythian Reign. And I have Lunatic City, which is a detective noir I told you about.
Awesome.
At home on my computer, I have probably 3/4, a little more of, actually a lot more, probably closer to, I'm probably about 85% of the way through the rough draft of the finale for the trilogy, the Dark Space Opera trilogy, which is the Proceena series.
That's great. The Dark Space Opera trilogy.
Yes.
Okay. And now, where can people find you out there online?
I'm on Amazon. You just look up TL and Diaz on Amazon, or any of my book titles on Amazon. You can also find me. I'm on Goodreads. I'm a Goodreads author.
Okay.
You can also find me on Facebook under TL and Diaz. Facebook, just search TL and Diaz.
Yeah.
I have my own website, but I just changed over, and there's an added domain. So, but if you find me on Facebook, I link to my new.
Great.
Great.
We're a web show, so we want to make sure people on the web know where to find you.
Yes, absolutely.
It is a World Wide Web. It's a big place.
It is.
So we want to send people over there, and it was so great talking to you, man.
Thank you very
awesome.
much.
And we were hanging with TL and Diaz here at Necronomicon 2015. Procythian Reign is the latest book that we were talking about. But get on over there, find him on Facebook, find him on Amazon, and check out one of his books. He's an independent author that's been out there for a few years now, and there's plenty of work to choose from. I love the idea of a futuristic noir. I'm going to be checking that out myself really, really, really soon. So here we are at Necronomicon's 34th annual event in Tampa, Florida. I'm GW Pomichter, and we're going to be right back in a few minutes. So log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.